Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Carol and I are still kicking, and this is just an update video to let you know what we've been doing since the last video really. Got myself a new drone, the DJI Mini 2, which is really the only drone I recommend these days now. The drone laws changed recently, making it more difficult as to where you can fly them, but the Mini 2 being so light, you're able to actually fly it virtually anywhere and still comply with the law. I also got a chance to try out the green Minkey cloths for tackling the condensation in the van, which were recommended to us by Kevin O'Sullivan. My thoughts on them are that they certainly do leave a very nice finish on the window once you've managed to get all that water off. One downside I found though was they're smaller than the usual microfiber cloths that we use, and therefore their capacity on the bigger windows is not as good. These smaller windows are no problem at all though, and it does leave a nice finish. Now we use the front window vents to dry our cloths out whilst we're driving around, and I've switched to these black ones so that they don't cause as much reflection in the windscreen, which of course you don't really want if you're trying to make a film. So going forward, I think I'll stick with the black ones but use the Minkey cloths to get that better finish on the glass after the vast majority of the water has been taken off. We have also been experimenting with things in the Ridge Monkey, and we have 2 more failures to report.
So for today's recipe we're going to try a moist chocolate cake without any eggs or butter. But first we're going to remember to grease the Ridge Monkey.
If you saw our previous attempt, you'll know that that cake stuck to the lids.
And then we're going to just use some kitchen paper. So first of all I'm going to use 100 grams of self-raising flour, and I'm going to put it through a sieve. Then we've got 100 grams of sugar, and we're using granulated sugar this time. I'm going to sift in 40 grams of cocoa powder. Next it's 2 teaspoons of baking powder. So we're just going to combine all these ingredients, make sure they're mixed well in together. Right, then in a separate small bowl I'm going to put 1 tablespoon of milk, one tablespoon of oil, and half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. So add the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients and stir.
Now this turned out to be too dry, and then we sussed that we'd misread the instructions on the quantity of milk.
I'm finding there's not enough here now, so we're going to have to add some more milk.
Seems very runny.
Well, maybe I've put too much milk in now. We're putting this trivet on, so we've got a bit more gap between the flame and the Ridge Monkey.
Okay, how long's it been?
10 minutes.
Okay,
Let's have a look.
It's rising up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it needs plenty more time yet, doesn't it?
What, before we turn it over?
Yeah, because that's still liquid on the top.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see if it lifts off it slowly. It's well stuck there now.
Well stuck. So, even greasing the pan doesn't make a difference to this, does it?
Well, this recipe.
Can we stick it with a skewer and just see if it's cooked? That's cooked, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not sticking.
No. So, we're just stuck at the edges, folks. And we're going to reposition that bit.
Now this actually turned out to be a tasty little chocolate cake, but what we now realise is we think you really should be using grease-proof paper to stop it sticking.
Well, I won't do this one again, but
No.
in a ridge monkey, but it's quite a nice recipe to do in an oven. Came away clean from the pan.
Yeah, okay.
On another day, it was my turn to try something.
So what are we cooking today?
You're cooking toad in the hole, so I'm just going to help you with the batter.
Okay, how do we make this batter?
Right, 70 grams of plain flour.
So what's next?
I'm just going to add a pinch of salt. I'm going to mix the flour and the salt together and make a well in the middle. And then I'm going to crack in 1 egg. Whisk together the egg and the flour, and then gradually add the milk.
Right, to hold the bowl.
So I had about 80 to 90 grams or millilitres of milk. Till it's about the right consistency.
Just set that aside, okay. Well, I'll cook the sausages now, I think. These are my absolute favourite sausages at the moment. Black Farmer. Lovely. So sausages need to be cooked on a really low heat. So I'm going to use this little spacer we've used before. So that's the sausages in the ridge monkey. I'm not going to bother using any fat. And we want a nice low heat. We're just going to cook those really nice and slowly, and I think I'll check them in about 5 minutes. Okay, they've had 5 minutes. Let's have a look. Yep, they're doing fine.
After about 20 minutes, the sausages are ready. So I set them aside, and this is where I made my mistake, I think. When doing a Yorkshire pudding type batter in the oven, you're supposed to get it really hot and the fat smoking. And I don't think I had this pan hot enough to make this batter rise properly. You can hear all the heat has gone out of the pan, and turning the flame up didn't rescue the situation. Now my idea was to let the batter set underneath before putting the sausages in, because I didn't want to burn the sausages. I could have arranged them a lot better as well, but it was still quite easy to cut into 2 portions. So this batter is not rising at all really, and I'm pretty sure that's due to the lack of heat in the pan.
Right, so turn it over. And that's what it looks like on the inside. And let that batter cook a bit more.
I'm trying to keep this to just 1 pan, the ridge monkey, so I'm just going to be serving this with some beans. Now prepare yourself for a good laugh, because this was a total failure, but I believe in showing it as it is and we've certainly learned from doing this one.
That's where the batter has run onto the other side. So I think we'll keep cooking that side a bit more. So it's going to be a bit weird, but we'll see how it turns out, what it's like to eat. I was hoping that that batter was going to rise.
Now that batter is cooked even if it hasn't risen, so I'm going to set that aside and do the beans now.
Keeping it nice and simple.
And this was the final result. Now it really tasted quite nice, but we need to improve the batter. As we finish that, the snow is beginning to fall, and the other morning it was so cold we couldn't get the van doors open. Anyway, we'll catch you next time, and the next video, which will be on Saturday, will be a nice walk on the downs.
Bum 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 bum.